Lucas Furta dizendo, galera, sendo que o Senegal vai conseguir fazer mais 30 pontos.
8 months. That's how long basketball fans have been waiting to see Caitlin Clark compete again. After spending months recovering from injury, anticipation had reached an all-time high. Supporters weren't just hoping to see her back on the floor. They wanted to know whether the superstar who transformed women's basketball could immediately return to her best. When Team USA opened its international campaign, excitement surrounded every moment of Clark's comeback. This wasn't simply another exhibition or preseason appearance. It marked her first opportunity to represent the senior national team in meaningful competition, making the occasion even more special. For many fans, this tournament was about more than wins and losses. It was the beginning of a new chapter, both for Clark and for women's basketball. During her absence, the sport had continued to generate headlines, but not always for the right reasons. Lengthy league negotiations, endless debates across social media, and declining interest in some competitions had left many fans eager for something positive. Clark's return offered exactly that. Few players have the ability to capture national attention the way she does. Every game she plays attracts enormous interest, and broadcasters clearly understood the value of having her back on the court. Her first tournament games would be shown to a nationwide audience, giving millions of fans their first chance to watch her compete again after such a long break. Then came game day. As Team USA prepared to face Senegal, expectations couldn't have been higher. Fans packed into arenas and tuned in from around the country, eager to witness Clark's first competitive minutes in nearly 8 months. But when the starting lineup was announced, many were caught by surprise. Caitlin Clark wasn't in it. Instead, veteran point guard Chelsea Gray received the starting assignment. The decision immediately sparked conversation online.
From her coach.
With Caitlin, she brings this dynamic play to the offensive end. I mean, that goes without saying. And as much as she is dynamic as a scorer, she's one of the most dynamic playmakers in the world as well. So imagine being a dynamic playmaker and then all of a sudden you're playing alongside all these other dynamic playmakers and finishers. I thought she toggled between, the playmaking and the scoring really well tonight and looked pretty comfortable out there.
After Caitlin Clark's spectacular opening performance, most fans assumed the coaching staff had seen enough. She had energized the offense, delivered a double-double in limited minutes, and looked like Team USA's most dangerous playmaker. It seemed obvious that Game 2 would be her chance to take over from the opening tip. Instead, the exact opposite happened. When the starting lineup was announced, Clark was once again left on the bench. While that decision frustrated fans, what happened after she entered the game caused even more concern. Rather than letting one of the world's best point guards control the offense, Team USA often kept the ball out of her hands. Possessions unfolded with other players bringing the ball up the floor while Clark waited on the perimeter, rarely being allowed to organize the attack the way she normally does. One player who drew plenty of attention from viewers was Angel Reese. Fans noticed several possessions where Clark appeared open and ready to receive the ball, yet the play moved in another direction instead. Reese frequently advanced the ball herself, attempting to initiate the offense even though Clark was available beside her. That immediately sparked debate across social media. Some fans believed there was nothing unusual about it. They argued every player was simply trying to contribute, and the team was still adjusting to different lineups and roles early in the tournament. Others weren't convinced. To many longtime Clark supporters, it felt like another example of a familiar pattern. They believed one of basketball's most gifted facilitators wasn't being allowed to play her natural game, raising concerns that this style of offense could continue into the upcoming WNBA season. Whether those concerns were justified or not, one thing was clear. The conversation had shifted away from Clark's incredible talent and toward the decisions being made around her, instead of celebrating one of the tournament's biggest stars.
I don't think that they were freezing out Caitlin Clark intentionally. And I definitely don't think it's because of jealousy. It's the way the coaching is. If anything, it might have been a coaching situation and Carl Lawson pulling a Chuck Daly, being like, yeah, we know you guys can kill it in the full court. And just when you're out running, what happens when it's a half court?
As the tournament rolled on, the discussion surrounding Caitlin Clark became bigger than basketball. Every game seemed to spark the same question. Why wasn't Team USA fully building its offense around one of the best playmakers in the world? For many fans, the issue wasn't just about minutes or starting lineups anymore. It was about a pattern they believed had followed Clark throughout her career. Supporters pointed to moments when her biggest performances were quickly overshadowed by criticism or controversy. Whenever she made headlines, it often felt like the conversation shifted away from what she accomplished and toward everything else surrounding her. That history made this tournament feel familiar. Some viewers even wondered whether the way Clark was being used could hint at how things might look when she returned to the Indiana Fever. With a new coaching staff preparing for the upcoming WNBA season, fans began questioning whether she would once again be asked to spend long stretches playing away from the ball instead of controlling the offense. Whether those concerns were fair or simply emotional reactions from passionate supporters, they spread quickly across social media. At the same time, Clark's impact on women's basketball was becoming harder to ignore. Her arrival had helped attract massive television audiences, increased attendance across the league, and brought unprecedented attention to the sport. Many fans argued that her influence extended far beyond the stat sheet. Because of that, every coaching decision involving Clark received intense scrutiny. Even small adjustments became major talking points, with supporters closely watching how she was being used on every possession. As the tournament continued, one thing became increasingly clear. The debate surrounding Caitlin Clark wasn't going away anytime soon. In fact, with every game, it was only becoming louder, setting the stage for even more discussion as Team USA moved closer.
Of course, we saw that agenda at work right in front of our faces yesterday during the game. People bringing up conspiracy theories, etc. I don't know what happened. All I know is if that is the offense that Stephanie White's going to put out there for the Indiana Fever, it's going to be a long season.
As the tournament continued, the conversation around Caitlin Clark showed no signs of slowing down. Every impressive play seemed to be followed by another wave of debate, leaving many of her supporters wondering why her achievements always appear to come with extra scrutiny. From their perspective, Clark's performances rarely stood on their own. Instead of simply celebrating what she accomplished on the court, discussions often shifted toward comparisons, criticism, or arguments involving other players. To many fans, it felt like her success was constantly being viewed through a different lens. That frustration had been building for quite some time. Supporters pointed out that Clark's influence on women's basketball had reached well beyond individual games. Television ratings had climbed, arenas were drawing larger crowds, and interest in the WNBA had expanded dramatically. Many believed her popularity had helped create new opportunities for the league and its players. Because of that, they felt Clark had earned recognition for the impact she was making both on and off the court. At the same time, fans noticed a different standard whenever conversations involved other stars. They argued that even balanced opinions or constructive criticism about certain players often sparked immediate backlash, while criticism directed at Clark seemed to receive far less resistance. Whether or not everyone agreed with that viewpoint, it highlighted just how passionate the discussions around Clark had become. By this stage of the tournament, every coaching decision, every award, and every possession involving Caitlin Clark was generating headlines. Her presence alone had become one of the biggest stories in women's basketball, and it was clear that the attention surrounding her wasn't fading anytime soon. In many ways, the tournament had evolved into more than just a competition. It had become another chapter in the ongoing conversation about one of the sport's most talked.
Get so much backlash for posting one simple question on Twitter, which was, why does Angel keep looking off Caitlin? And people went like crazy. And the backlash was from her fan base, but not everything has to have an agenda. It's just basketball.
By the time the next game arrived, one question was on everyone's mind. Would Team USA finally change the way it was using Caitlin Clark? Fans had already watched her deliver outstanding performances in limited minutes, yet she still wasn't part of the starting lineup. Many hoped the coaching staff would make adjustments after seeing how dramatically the offense improved whenever she stepped onto the floor. Instead, the same pattern continued. For the third straight game, Clark's name wasn't among the starters. That decision immediately reignited the debate across social media. Supporters questioned why one of the team's most dynamic playmakers was once again beginning the game on the bench, especially after proving she could completely change the pace of the offense. But as soon as Clark checked into the game, the difference became impossible to ignore. Within minutes, Team USA looked more organized and confident. The ball moved with greater purpose. Teammates found open looks more easily, and the offense suddenly carried the rhythm that fans have been waiting to see. It was another reminder of the impact Clark could make the moment she touched the court. Even though she wasn't in the starting five, her presence continued to reshape the game every time she entered. And with each performance, the calls for a bigger role only became louder as the tournament moved forward.
The best quarter they had all game long. The first quarter. Caitlin Clark comes in, scores instantly. Instant offense. Instantly the ball's moving. Instantly we're finding the open man. Team USA puts Italy in the dirt in the first quarter.
As the tournament moved forward, a clear pattern began to emerge. Every time Caitlin Clark stepped onto the floor, Team USA seemed to operate at a completely different level. The offense became faster, passes were sharper, and teammates found themselves with cleaner scoring opportunities. There was a noticeable rhythm to the game whenever Clark was directing traffic, something fans have been pointing out since the opening matchup. The contrast became even more obvious whenever she returned to the bench. Without her running the offense, Team USA's attack often slowed down. Possessions became more deliberate. The ball didn't move as freely, and opponents were able to stay in games longer than many expected. For a team filled with elite talent, the difference in tempo was hard to ignore. One lineup, in particular, started generating excitement among fans. Whenever Caitlin Clark, Paige Buchers, and Angel Reese shared the court, the chemistry looked surprisingly strong. Despite constant comparisons between their fan bases, the three stars complemented one another well. Clark's elite passing created opportunities. Reese controlled the paint with her energy and rebounding, and Buchers added another scoring threat from the perimeter. It was a combination many viewers wanted to see more often. Clark continued making the most of every opportunity she received. In just 22 minutes, she recorded 12 points, 5 assists, and finished with a remarkable plus 27 plus-minus, helping Team USA secure a convincing 93-59 victory. Even after another impressive outing, however, one question remained unanswered. Why was one of the tournament's most productive players still coming off the bench? By this stage, Clark was one of only a few players who had yet to start a game, and many fans felt there was no longer a basketball reason to justify the decision. Eventually, the coaching staff made a change. In the fourth game of the tournament, Caitlin Clark finally earned her first start.
I also believe that they were running plays specifically for Caitlin to try to play her off ball. But in real game scenario, you know that they're going to have Caitlin playing the point because it is statistically, you just look at all these games, you look at all the stats, there's no way that you can look at this team and say somebody else is better.
By the closing stages of the tournament, Caitlin Clark had already proven she could make a difference no matter how she was used. Whether she started the game or came off the bench, her production remained remarkably consistent, giving fans even more reason to wonder what she could accomplish with a larger role. Against New Zealand, Team USA was simply too strong. The Americans dominated from start to finish, cruising to a 101-46 victory. Clark once again delivered an efficient performance, finishing with 14 points, 6 assists, and 2 steals while helping keep the offense flowing throughout the game. Many supporters couldn't help but imagine what her numbers might have looked like if every possession had been designed to take advantage of her playmaking abilities. Even so, she continued to make the most of every opportunity she received. As the tournament progressed, Clark climbed to the top of several statistical categories. She led all players in total assists and remained among the tournament's leading scorers despite playing fewer minutes than many expected. Then came the biggest challenge of the event, Spain. Facing Team USA's toughest opponent, Clark was again asked to fill multiple roles instead of spending the entire game as the primary ball handler. Despite the adjustments, she contributed across the board with 7 points, 7 assists, a steal, and a block, showing her versatility even when the offense wasn't built around her strengths. By the end of the tournament, her overall resume spoke for itself. Clark averaged 11.6 points per game, led the competition with 6.4 assists per game, and consistently influenced every matchup with her passing, shooting, and decision-making. Her complete body of work made her one of the tournament's standout performers. When fan voting for the tournament's most valuable player opened, however, a new controversy emerged.
It seems like from the outside looking in, somebody slowly losing their mind. Caitlin Clark winning MVP, according to threads, has been compared to slavery. Apparently, it is the reason why the WNBA is racist. FIBA giving the award to Caitlin Clark, which was voted on by the media, apparently is racist against Ryan Howard.
As the tournament came to an end, Caitlin Clark's performances had become one of the biggest stories in women's basketball. Despite returning from a lengthy layoff and spending much of the event coming off the bench, she consistently delivered whenever her number was called. Her success wasn't limited to the court. One of Team USA's tournament games attracted more than 330,000 television viewers on True TV, a strong audience considering the limited promotion surrounding the broadcast. The numbers quickly caught the attention of basketball fans, who pointed to Clark's popularity as a major reason for the impressive viewership. Many supporters compared those ratings with other recent women's basketball events, arguing that Clark's presence continues to generate extraordinary interest wherever she plays. To them, it was another example of the excitement she brings to the sport. But for Clark herself, the focus remained on improving. After her opening performance, she admitted she still wasn't playing at her absolute best, believing there was another level she could reach as she regained her rhythm after 8 months away from competitive basketball. That mindset only fueled anticipation for what might come next. If these performances represented only the beginning of her comeback, many believe the upcoming WNBA season could be even more impressive. By the end of the tournament, Clark had accomplished plenty. She earned tournament MVP honors, ranked among the competition's top scorers, led the field in assists, and helped guide Team USA through another successful international campaign. More importantly, she reminded basketball fans exactly why she remains one of the sport's biggest attractions. Now, with the international tournament behind her, all eyes turn toward the 2026 WNBA season. Expectations are higher than ever, and fans are eager to see what Clark can accomplish with a full season ahead. If her return is any indication, the next chapter of her career